Hello. Welcome to the Ask Dr. Reilly Show. I'm your host, Dr. Anissa Reilly. And as we are ending volume 1 of season 4, I want you to realize that the end is also sometimes the beginning. The beginning, I'm saying, the beginning of a new season. Well, maybe not a new season, but we decided to do it again. Now we're going to enter into volume 2 of our theme of identity. You may say, what? Why would we do that? And I'm going to share with you because during volume 1, we got so many gems that we realized there were additional information that we could bring to you. But let me recap for you in case you haven't watched it. So thank you, Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, for agreeing to sit here with me for us to engage in conversation so we can help the peoples learn some things. Amen. The theme for this season is identity, and I think that is something that the entire world is dealing with. So that people can understand what we're talking about when we say identity. What is your definition of identity?
My definition of identity is, the essence of who you are.
For me, identity is all the things that make me who I am. Strong Black woman because I've always had to be growing up in Brooklyn.
Okay, Brooklyn,
right? BK all day, every day.
Ooh, that is a much layered question. What it means to me is how I present myself to the world. Who I am as, how I represent myself as God's child, as a child of God. I had to learn to accept that.
Identity to me is who you are as a person. It's who you are as a person. To me, identity is the demonstration of your character before even opening your mouth.
Identity, Christ is. And so for me, I think everybody has a worldview. They're sort of like our lens in which we view life through. And ultimately, you can think of your identity as whatever you want it to be, but whatever those lenses are that you're viewing life through, that's what you really are.
So that's always, like you said, a tough question to really answer. I feel like because with the world and right now, I feel like we kind of identify ourselves with things that we kind of need to change or adjust. Identity is shaped by it can be by your traumas, it can be by just your life experience as a whole, I think, and where you came from, your upbringing is what shapes your identity as a whole. And personally, I'm trying to not stick with my identity, like in terms of who I thought I was, because that can keep you in a box and keep you stuck in trauma or stuck in a place where you're actually trying to elevate from.
We watch all of the episodes from volume 1 and get ready for volume 2. What does identity mean to you?
Identity to me is how you carry yourself as a person, your personality, and your character. I think identity is who I am as a person. Also my character, like who I am when nobody's watching, and how I carry myself as a person.
So who is Dr. J for us? Let the audience people know. Who is Dr. J?
So Dr. J is currently a principal of a turnaround school in the South Bronx. One of our things that is really important for me that makes up who I am is my family and my children. So I have 3 sons and a husband. That is who I am. I have served as a teacher, as a director for special education, a master principal, a principal as well of a school. I'm a survivor. I have made it through some traumatic issues very early on as a youth, and that has made me into the person that I am today.
Identity means to me, it means how you define yourself to yourself. So a lot of people try to define you, and then sometimes you take on that definition in front of people, but when you get back home, when you get by yourself, how you define yourself to yourself, that's really your identity.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go right to the obvious question. Well, how do you define yourself to yourself?
And this has been changing.
Yeah.
It's I'm living it out in real time. So what I've landed on is I define myself to myself as a child of God.
Identity to me means knowing who you are and how you present that image to the world.
So when you say know who you are, how do you know, or how can someone know who they are?
You can know who you are. For me, I know that you have to go to who made you, and that's God. It's like when you think about anything that's made, you look at the direction, you look at the manufacturer, you look at those types of things. So it's like, how do I know who I am? I have to look at who made me, and that's God. And so through what God teaches me through his word, that I'm his daughter, I'm a child of God. And from then on, it's like, okay, and he also has given me gifts, talents, and abilities. And so through that, I know how to use those according to his word.
For me, identity is about who you really are. Your authentic person, your authentic self, the person that you're able to show up as at all times. Identity is not necessarily only just about what you do, but more about your person, your character, what you believe, and how those things shape the mark that you make in the world.